We've got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, we are looking at what looks like a dragon UFO. That is that small category of UFO that buzzes aerial vehicles. Why do they do this? Is it some sort of surveillance project? What are these guys up to? I think that the dragon UFOs are among the most fascinating categories of UFOs because it is this repeatable behavior of these objects. And whenever you see repeatable behavior in a pattern, you might discover some sort of motive or intent. Why do UFOs do what they do? Well, we don't know, at least in many cases, but we do know they do buzz aerial vehicles. So why is that? Let me know what you guys think. And that was shared from Nikki Noel, I believe. Yeah. Caught this the lake the other day, flying by one of the multiple Blackhawks that circled us the entire time. Yeah, so let me know why you think that UFO, if that's what it was buzzing the Blackhawks. Meanwhile, we have an update on Skywatcher. Yeah, Jake Barber's organization, or an organization that he is one of the founders of. Well, one of the other founders, or the only other known founder, the only other founder that I know of, James Fowler, is leaving Skywatcher. So that is really too bad. Skywatcher has a very politic, portrayal of this. The Skywatcher team is excited to congratulate James Fowler on his new venture, contracting with the U.S. government. And we sincerely thank him for his contributions to Skywatcher. He has played a key role in all of our field operations and in the data we have collected to date. And he's been a big mover over at Skywatcher. Like I say, one of the founders involved in leading their technology and leading field operations. If you've seen episode 2 of Skywatcher, you can see that that a lot of prominence is placed on James Fowler. He has the sit-down interview with Merrick von Rennenkamp. And yeah, overall, just seems like he is portrayed as a central figure to what is going on over there. So without James, what are they doing? What are they doing over at Skywatcher? What can we be treated to next? It's a really unfortunate, to my mind, situation. I'm hoping that their politic answer is the correct way to portray it, and there was no bad blood or anything, or that it wasn't done strictly for financial reasons. They go on to say, as of this past July, our team completed its initial round of field operations. During which data was captured for 7 to 10 days each month, beginning in January. We now hold more than 10 terabytes of data and have assembled an external team of analysts in SMEs who have begun their work. We are working with world-class independent scientists, physicists, and radar specialists to evaluate the data in accordance with our discovery framework. In short, we have now entered our analysis phase. We are pursuing this work scientifically and rigorously, and we will share our findings as soon as they are available. The entire team is moving as quickly as possible. We'll have more updates to share soon. So, that's really encouraging. And you would expect them to put a good face on this. And hey, maybe James Fowler's role is no longer necessary. He was leading field operations and so on. Maybe if their field operations have concluded, then he is no longer essential to what is going on at Skywatcher. I have a lot of hopes pinned on Skywatcher. I really do. Who knows what's going to happen in the halls of Congress and, the Pentagon and the White House and so on, and the official channels of UFO disclosure. But civilians, former government contractors, but now civilians, employing some of those same techniques that they were using to lure UFOs in, to capture this data and to get it scientifically analyzed in a way that can be peer reviewed, because that is their goal. And then, so on. That to me, that is enormously exciting and has a lot of potential to galvanize the public, politicians, and so on. Show them the data, get this stuff scientifically accepted. Wouldn't that be amazing? Get the scientific community on board with the anomalous. I love Skywatcher, and I really am jazzed for part three of their video series. When we have been told that we are going to learn what the psychic assets, the psionic assets, what they experienced when projecting their minds, or however it works, having psychic impressions of the sky squid, of the jellyfish, of the manta rays, and so on. They've been able to psychically communicate to some extent with these beings or with these craft, whatever the heck Skywatcher is luring in. And I can't wait to see what those psychic impressions are. I don't know why there's this delay in bringing us episode 3 when they've now moved to the analysis phase. I don't see how that could interfere with bringing us episode 3, since that is just the impressions of the psionics. That's what we've been told. So I am worried about the shakeup at Skywatcher. Let me know if you have a different take on it in the comments below. Meanwhile, I saw this fun video. I thought I'd share it with you. This has been making the rounds. Supposedly an alien peeping in through the windows. So let me know if you think this is a legit alien. Look at that guy. He's blinking and everything. I don't know if they blink, but sometimes they do seem to blink. Now it's probably CGI or something. I mean, honestly, but it looks shockingly like the Boyd Bushman alien. Would they have gone to such lengths to, show us an alien that was so similar to the Boyd Bushman alien? I think that's really intriguing. I think that maybe they would have picked a different alien to CGI and not necessarily the Boyd Bushman alien. I think that's probably, one of the last ones they would have picked, honestly. And we do know that aliens do creep around houses from time to time. Why do they do it? I don't know. But we, have Dobby the house elf in the other more recent video that I've made a few videos on that has been analyzed by the likes of ProPixels. So they do, they creep around houses. So could this be an example of aliens creeping around houses? Or is this just a big old hoax? I think that's entirely possible. But it is so similar to that Boyd Bushman alien. And if you were going to hoax something, would you choose that alien? I don't know. Meanwhile, in a post from UAP1, who is sharing Eric Burleson's words in that Spaces the other day, and I'll have more comments from Eric in a minute, but he was saying that David Grush told him not to prioritize Jay Stratton as far as getting information from. UAP1, who would probably word it better than I can, says, so Representative Eric Burleson said in a Space tonight that David Grush told him that talking to former UAPTF chief Jay Stratton as part of their investigation was not a priority. So why do you think that would be? I would think that Jay Stratton would absolutely be somebody they would want to talk to. Is it because he was haunted by a werewolf? I mean, really? He was haunted by a werewolf, a skinwalker, a hitchhiker, whatever you want to call it, an upright, scary-looking wolf-like creature with glowing red eyes that not just he saw, but members of his family and others saw as well. So is he stigmatized because of this paranormal or whatever it was experience? Or is something else going on there? Maybe the beef he might have with Lou Elizondo. Apparently Jay's book that is going to come out at some point in the near future is going to run counters to some of Lou's information. Is that what's going on? It's hard to imagine because Jay Stratton is such an interesting figure in all of this. He doesn't speak a lot publicly, but behind the scenes, he has done a lot. He's been involved with Skinwalker Ranch, of course. That's how he picked up that hitchhiker. He's been involved in the pre-AARO days of the Pentagon's UFO program, at least the one that is publicly acknowledged. So why would you not want to talk to him, who has been investigating this and gathering data on this for years? I find that really perplexing, but let me know what you guys think. And I did want to get into Eric's thoughts on amnesty, because I was talking about amnesty yesterday. And here is what Eric Burleson had to say about amnesty. At first, he talks about the financial crimes involved in the cover up. And then he goes further.
People that have committed criminal activity to do that, if that's the case. And I think that, and that's, then that's without going into all of the whole human trafficking and psionic stuff that people talk about. But
so with all that, how do you view the mass amnesty, the calls for mass amnesty, without even really knowing what we're signing off for? You know what I mean?
I think that if you're going to get any kind of level of disclosure, I have become convinced, and I can be convinced otherwise, but right now I'm convinced that if you really want to get to the truth, and you want to get to the truth quickly and have quick disclosure, then you offer amnesty in a short-term window. So you say, over the next year, for example, anybody that comes forward and confesses their sins is receiving amnesty. And after that, it's not there. And I think that will kind of force some players to come forward.
I like that. I think that's smart, giving them a window of opportunity to come forward where amnesty is in effect. I think that a lot of the crimes committed by the UFO control group are unforgivable, and it's impossible to forgive. However, I think what needs to happen is not just UFO disclosure, which could benefit the whole world, but the ending of the crimes of the UFO control group. There are still victims of the UFO control group. There are still programs, from the information that we have, that appears to be victimizing people currently. That needs to end. Those victims need to be saved. And if amnesty will get us there, if it'll end the criminality of the UFO control group and save lives and save the quality of lives, then I think that's something that needs to be considered. So those are just my takes, but it's a very complicated issue. Like I say, I think a lot of the crimes that the control group has committed are unforgivable. And it's really hard to imagine giving amnesty to people that have done that. However, if the only way to prevent horrible evil from happening is to give amnesty to those who are doing it, then I think that might need to be considered. But hey, that's just my take. And like I say, it's a very complicated question, and I don't blame anybody else for feeling differently. Meanwhile, astronaut Jerry Lindinger is talking about his own UFO experience in space.
I'm going to stick my neck out about how many people think I saw a UFO when I was up there. And I did. I mean, I saw things in the true sense of the word, unidentified flying objects. Don't take me out of context with that first quote. I had no aliens knocking, but, I saw stuff where I'd call my crewmates over, Stroetta, what the heck is that? And we'd look, and sometimes it was metallic, and it was, looked like a spoon, if you will, off in the distance. And the problem in space, good luck figuring out if it's a really small object close by, something that floated out of the airlock like a spoon, or is it something 100,000 miles away that's the size of a big spacecraft? And it's very hard to distinguish that. Usually it was, something you kind of explain, probably an ice chunk off the external tank or something like that. But you'd see things, as you're saying, Nicole, that, you go, wow, that's cool. I don't know what that was exactly, but it's not a satellite because it's, doing something different. And it's pretty cool to see something like that.
All right. Pretty cool story. Meanwhile, from Dustin Slaughter comes an interesting case from Florida in 2023 at the Avon Park Air Force Range. A range officer at the base received a text message at 9:38 a.m. ET from a subordinate I don't think it's that ET, stating, I saw a UAP on base this morning when we were going out in the field. 3 witnesses in 2 different trucks, and it disappeared right in front of our eyes. The officer notified the military desk at the FAA Miami Air Route Traffic Control Center of the sighting and then sought additional information from one of the witnesses as follows. According to one of the drivers, the incident started when there was a bright reflection in the sky that caught my attention. The passenger saw it too. The witnesses spotted what was described as a metallic object approximately 500 feet in the air, and the sun was reflecting brightly on its left side. The UAP was further described as a cylinder in shape, like a cigar. The object was estimated to be approximately the length of 3 traffic helicopters combined. This information was relayed to their superior, an Avon Range officer, in a series of text messages, who later sent the rest of the report to the Miami ARTCC. The Miami ARTCC then notified the FAA's Joint Air Traffic Operations Command. The report also noted that no traffic was scheduled to enter, had permission to enter, nor was tracked entering the restricted range. Now, of course, this report got filed with AARO, who says the incident remains under investigation, and we will probably never hear about it again, at least from them. But yeah, another interesting UFO encounter witnessed by multiple military individuals. Meanwhile, speaking of AARO, should it be discontinued? Well, Sean Patrick Hazlett of Through the Glass Darkly and Dr. Garry Nolan seem to agree on that. And by the way, Sean, congratulations on 15,000 subscribers. That's awesome. But yeah, here they are talking about it.
In my opinion, AARO is quite obviously a counterintelligence operation. The whole point, if you looked at people who testified to them, they always require you to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Why? Right. It's like a honeypot. So in my opinion.
And they promised to give those people back the transcripts, and they never did. So, I mean, the integrity is lost. And I would say to Senator Gillibrand and others who supported AARO, you're supporting a group that is lying to the people that are coming in to testify. So the people who did testify have no faith in the process. And the rest who, like you and I, think that this is just a honeypot, have basically gone around them. So the purpose of the group is moot at this point. Discontinue it. Shut the place down. It's not necessary.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Why do we need AARO? We don't need AARO. But getting rid of AARO would be for Kirsten Gillibrand and others to admit they were wrong. Will they do that? And also, what would they replace it with? So I don't know. I agree they need to be shut down, but does Congress have the will to do it? So let me know your thoughts. And if they did shut it down, how would they go about it? Last but not least, a raccoon eating some jelly. Let me know what you think about this awesome raccoon and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.